Hello everyone, this is my IBO lesson plan. I'm going to be a social studies teacher, so this will be for social studies grades 10 through 12. This is just my introduction page. I tried to put some pictures up here that would stimulate some conversation. This is as part of my warm-up. So I have some warm-up questions up here, as well as just an overall introduction. These pictures can be blown up to show a full effect. The idea is you'll see these pictures, and obviously they're very powerful photos, and I'm just trying to get them warmed up. So I'm just going to go on from my introduction to my task page. My task page is pretty straightforward, just shows what the class agenda of the day is going to be. I'll just read the first part. So read the introduction and briefly write some answers to the questions provided. Do your best. We will revisit these questions after completing all the tasks. I say that just because it's a warm-up, and then we'll re-tackle that at the end of the lesson, and hopefully get much better answers. We'll do a little check-in at the end. Okay, so this just shows what we're going to be doing with our group work, then more group work, and then it'll lead into a class discussion. So then we'll go over the process, and this just breaks it down as per our assignment. Just basically gives a breakdown on what we're supposed to do from step to step. My lesson does cover about 5 days, so this is just day one. So again, it just talks about the warm-up questions. You're going to have to do some research. I've supplied a hyperlink right here that'll show some information and give them a good example of a good web page to look at for research. They'll also be creating their own infographic, just like we did in class. I really enjoyed that assignment. I thought it was a fun way to present information. So I gave them a little example here of what a fun infographic looks like. I gave them two options, two websites to check out. They could do Piktochart like I did in this class, or Canva as well. And then I also posted two tutorials on YouTube to help them out as well. Day two, they'll be doing some group work as well. This just goes into day three. I gave them this video. I thought it was a very powerful video on Hurricane Katrina. Again, just try to give them more background knowledge. And then that'll lead into eventually into a group assignment at the end on day 5, where they'll be doing all their presentations, and they'll also be rating their peers as part of their rubric as well. Okay, so that's my process. Now we're going to just go into the informational resources. And you've done this as well. This is just a breakdown of some helpful links for the project. So I gave them a couple links on how to avoid plagiarism, which is obviously very important in this day and age with all the technology we have. Gave them a post here on research help as well, on how to research more effectively. And then just added a couple more videos that we won't have time in class. One video is pretty long, it's about an hour long. The other one I think is only about 11 minutes. As far as evaluation is concerned, I created a couple rubrics, one for the infographic, which is, I'm not asking them to go crazy on the infographic, so it's just going to be a group assignment of 1 or 2. It'll be their choice if they want to pair or work individually. And this is just a breakdown of the first one. The second rubric is a little bit more complicated because it's the presentation of itself. So use of technology, use of evidence, make sure they use all the components that I've asked for, organization, and then you'll see at the bottom is the student assessment, where they'll be rated by their peers, and then I'll take an average of their rating and add that to their grade as well. Conclusion. These are all just the things that I expect them to learn through the process. It's pretty long. It's about 5 days, kind of like a mini unit. So there are a whole bunch of things here that I expect them to learn how to, work effectively, collaboratively. The infographic, wealth of a nation, all these things that hopefully they'll learn as they go through. And then lastly is the notes to the teacher. And this is pretty involved. This has all the technology that's going to be implemented. I use Bloom's taxonomy as we're supposed to do, and all the keywords, analyze, research, evaluate relevance, create the strategy plan, etc., etc. Standards I use from NATS.T, regular state standards. I have 2 of them as well. And then some ideas for other subjects. economics came to mind right away. And then, of course, younger students, you can make it a little bit easier. I had an idea of making a model. You could make a model and have water kind of gust through the model and knock everything over with younger kids, and then ask them to kind of create their own model and then test it at the end by pouring some water over it. I think that would be um, a fun little game to try and a good little plan. And then lastly is just the acknowledgements from all the web pages and everything else. All right. I enjoyed this class. Hope everyone else did as well. Nice meeting everybody, and take care.